Hey everyone, happy Friday. I cannot tell you how excited I am because it was our final Friday of the school year. Yes, I'm still working my 9 to 5 job. Um, sure is tough being an elementary principal at the end of the school year. And let me tell you, people are feeling themselves. But luckily, on my way home today, and I won't tell you where I stopped, but I stopped for a little margarita. And that's going to make this Friday evening a whole lot better. I hope you had a great week this week. As you heard me say a little bit earlier in the week, I think I hit the wall and I had to kind of bounce myself back. But as I was walking through my school building today and just interacting with people and thinking about my own self over the years, how I get myself through tough weeks like this, because it's really easy to give up. It's really easy to become negative, and it's very easy to just not care. And that's not the type of person that I want to be. A while back, I wrote a blog post about being optimistic in a pessimistic world. And that's what we're doing right now, right? Everybody seems to be tired and everybody seems to be overwhelmed and everyone seems to be at a point where they're not sure if they want to continue their job. We hear about the great resignation, and especially with educators, it's really happening a lot. And I just think about how do we get through our days when they're that tough and that difficult and we just want to give up. So I reflected a little on my way home because I do have a bit of a drive coming home. And I just thought about on those days when it's hard, how do I set myself up? So in the morning, of course, nobody ever wants to get out of bed in the morning. And I am not a morning person. I'm going to tell you a secret. I have been trying to become one of those people that starts working out at 4 a.m. just so I can be sure I always get my workout in. It's not happening. That alarm goes off and I'm like, nope, I'll just work out later in the day. And then sometimes I do. And then lately, with all the busyness of wrapping up the school year, sometimes I don't. And so one thing that I have made sure that when I'm getting up in the morning and I'm in that state of, I just want to stay in bed, I start to think about one thing I'm looking forward to. So it could be a meeting I might be having, or an opportunity to meet with a colleague or talk with a colleague. It might be something that's happening after work hours. It might be something I'm going to be working on for my side hustle that I'm starting right now. It could be just the opportunity to know that I'm going to talk with my daughter for the day, or get to spend some time with the brown dog. But I try to find that one thing that can help me look forward to something that's happening in the school day. And I promise you, it's pretty contagious, because once you start thinking about one thing, then, at least for me, I start thinking, oh, and then I have this thing. Oh, and then I get this opportunity. And oh, I forgot about this. And so it really does catch on kind of like wildfire. The other thing that I always am sure to do is I'm a list person, and I try really hard to be so technologically savvy, especially in this day and age, but I still like to go back to that paper pencil. And so I make lists. As a matter of fact, lists, to-do lists, more to-do lists, more to-do lists. It's kind of my saving grace. And so I make a list every morning so that I can be sure that I hit all the things I have to hit. And I try to make sure that I schedule some time in there for myself to breathe. So my job is really busy. And I'm sure many of you are in a position similar to that. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom, it's everything just comes all at once and you're trying to keep up. And so scheduling a minute in my day for me to breathe, scheduling a minute in my day for me to stop and use the restroom. And that sounds crazy, but in my line of work, you almost have to do that sometimes. And so that's very important. The other thing that I've always said I try to do is schedule my workouts as well. So it's almost like having an after-school meeting or an evening outing. I'll schedule workout, and then I am a little bit more sure to get that done, because that brings me to the next point that I always try to make sure I do. Try to make sure I maintain my health. So this week, of course, I experienced that little setback. And let me tell you, it was very stressful, because what started to happen is I started to think about all the things I wasn't getting done while I was home on the couch. I started to think about, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, but maybe I should still do this. And I would be laying on the couch and still doing this. So that's kind of like resting, right? No. So it's hard. It's hard to be down and out. It's hard to be sick. It's hard to take time away. And so I tried to make sure that I maintain that healthy lifestyle. I always am sure to get 3 to 5 workout days in every week. The last couple of weeks, it's barely been 3, but I'm sure to get the 3. I am also really sure that I am eating healthy, especially on those weeks that are a little more stressful, because as I've gotten older, and yes, 1 week from tomorrow, I'll be 51. It's coming up way too fast, but I've noticed that my body has changed a little in the fact of what I can eat and still feel really good. So in the past, when I was in my 30s, probably even my early 40s, I didn't have any kind of stomach issues or really weight issues or things like that. And now that I'm in my 50s, that's changed a little bit. I get a little indigestion every once in a while. And if I'm hungry, I'm hungry. And I find myself getting to a point of almost that, what's the word, hangry, is the buzzword right now. And I find myself at that point. Plus, digesting my food, I don't want to eat too late, because I want to be sure that I can be comfortable when I go to sleep, and I'm not worrying about digesting my food and all of those great things. So I try to keep myself on a very good schedule. I'm not one of those people, except for the margarita, that I really do a lot of eating just to eat and enjoy. I'm not one that just craves a whole lot of things, but I can get myself off, especially when I'm busy. And then once I'm off, it just causes more stress and anxiety. And then I always try to stop and smell the roses. And someone had to teach me to do that. I'm going to be honest. There was a point in time in my life where I just thought, go, go, go. I think I heard someone say, you can rest when you're dead. And I thought, yeah, when I retire, I'll rest. That'll be my time that I enjoy life. And so I was going through life, just going and going and going. And then I realized, wow, I was missing times with my daughter. Wow, I was missing times with my ex-husband. I was missing time with friends. And so, I had to learn to just every once in a while, stop and just reflect, stop and just think. The other night we were out walking, and we're trying to get it done. And I live in a pretty safe neighborhood. So I'm out walking, and it's almost dark. And I look over and I'm thinking, okay, let's just get these miles done. We can get home, we can sit down, we can pour that glass of wine or whatever we're going to do. And I look over and I see a big turtle. And this big turtle catches Oakley's eye, of course, because Oakley's obsessed with turtles, and that's a story for another day. But he stops and he's looking at the turtle, and I'm looking at the turtle. And at first I'm like, come on, let's go. Let's get this walk finished. And then I look at him and I'm like, no, let's stop. Let's watch this turtle. And what was amazing is the turtle had come up out of the little waterway where the green belt is that I live, and was laying eggs in the mulch around the trees. And it was amazing to watch. And had I just kept going and kept walking, I would have missed that. The full moons. I am obsessed sometimes with the moon. I always like to keep watch of how people react when the moon is where it is in its phases. And the other night I look up and there was a full moon, and I just had to stop and look at it, because those are moments that you never get back. And so I think, just over the years, yeah, we can all become very negative. I told somebody the other day, I'm a little bit feisty. And they looked at me and they said, yes, you are. And of course, that was the day before I realized I was getting sick. But I can be feisty. I think we all have that in us. And strong women especially can be exceptionally feisty. But I also know that, controlling those emotions and making sure that I take that time to think about, we can be negative, we can be a pessimist, but we can also make the choice to be an optimist, to be positive. even when life is hard. It's not about how life hits us, it's about how we react to it. I think that really defines who we are. So those are my thoughts for today. I hope you had a great week. I hope you're planning a great weekend. Happy Friday, yay, because that's what we call it around here. And I will see you soon.